Hi everyone. This will be a demo for the second assignment, the sidestep and jump. So this will be like the workflow, usually like how to do the blocking, the first part of the animation. Okay, so blocking just the poses, the main poses. Um, and it should look something like this for your assignment, the first part. So I have all my poses blocked, like all my main poses blocked. So if you look at all the keys for my character, it's all one frame after another, all the keys. So if you play and you capture it, it should be looking something like this. So the main point of this, like I said before, is to be focused on the posing. Don't worry about don't worry about the timing for now. What's important is to get the good posing, very strong posing. Um, if you want, you can check uh, your silhouette at the same time. Make sure it's strong, it's clear. We don't lose your one arm, etc. Okay, so for that, we're going to start with uh, we'll start with the reference. Okay, just going to get my reference. So this reference I'm using, I film myself. It's not the best, but I'll give you an idea of what I'm doing, the sidestep and the jump. Okay, so I'm opening it with keyframe MP. You have it on in school computer, and you should have it at home if you work at home too. It's very handy. The first thing is to analyze your reference. At this point, I'm just going to start with somewhere here. Let's say 82, around here. Yeah. So I'm going to start somewhere at 78, let's say here. And I'm just going to do one step. I'm not going to do the two steps and then a jump. I'm not quite happy with the jump, but I have another reference for that. So it's a good idea to get the best reference as much as possible. If you're not happy with the reference, let's say you can splice it in with different references altogether. Um, uh, don't don't do a reference that you're not happy with. As much as possible, get a good reference. It's very important to have that, so because that's going to be your basis for your posing. So let's start. And this tool, keyframe MP, is pretty cool. I find it handy. There's a bookmarking system that they have. If you press F, it kind of bookmarks, so you have like a line on the timeline up here. So let's say the first frame, this is my initial pose. I'm going to press F. Okay, so now it doesn't show up here, but maybe we can go down back here. So see here, there's the frame here. That's my starting point, and I'm just gonna look at my reference, what's going on. Like here, if you look at my COG, my hips, it's kind of going to the left or screen right. I'm shifting my weight. So I'll probably have I need to key this. So let's say here I'm gonna press F, and now I have like a marker right there. So okay, so now I lift my foot straight up, and then I think here, and then it starts to go diagonally. So I wanna key maybe just the straight up here. I'll press F again, marks it, and then this point maybe here, the highest point for the foot, and then comes down. I won't worry about the arc. Maybe I'll do a breakdown later on here, but I'm just gonna key the contact, maybe like the plant here. Okay, so I'll press F again. It's contact, and then here is when I push off. I wanna maybe the last frame here uh, before my screen, my left foot uh, pushes off and takes into the air, and then lifts up the highest point. Maybe here I'll key the highest point, and then the plant here, and then I'll probably have, yeah, I kind of shift a bit my weight to the screen right. So I'll key that again. So this movement of the sidestep, I can just if you look at the tools here, bookmarks, previews and next bookmark is these shortcuts. So I'm just going through these keys here. So these are going to be my basis for my keyframes that I'm going to do. Okay, so if we continue, uh, maybe here it's like a moving hold. When you block in, if you have a moving hold, it's a good idea to key it as well. So you have a bookmark or a point where the moving hold, it's almost like bookmarking it like from this frame to this frame. I'm not moving much, but there's still movement there, so hence we call it a moving hold. So here we have, and then I'm going to go down for my anticipation. I'm going to go to the lowest point, so I think it's this one, although there's a bit of overlapping there. I'm just going to look at my lowest point of my COG, center of gravity, or center of mass. And then I'll key that. That'll be my pose for my anticipation. So here, and then my anticipation, and then jump. So remember I said we want to have that takeoff pose. I think it's this one here. I want to exaggerate that. So I'm just at my tip of my toes there, so I'm pushing off. So I'm gonna have that as a key too. So like so, I'm going up and going for the highest point. This is the 22, and then coming down. Same thing with the coming down. We want to start to have that contact there. So I'm gonna key that, and then the absorption. So absorbing, I'm going to go to the lowest point too of my reference here on the hips, and then recovery and settle. So I'm going to go up here and have that as a key too. and then maybe another key here to as a settle. So if we look at all the keys, that's going to be the ones I'm going to be targeting. So maybe here we can have coming down, and maybe another one here where my heel touches down. So I'll put one here. And then the next one would be the absorption. And it's almost like a moving hold, like I come down here and there's a moving hold because I'm still absorbing it. So another key there. Okay, so that's how I analyze it for the initial blocking pose of, and then you can also at this point you can look at the what your arm is doing too. What kind of pose is it? Um, is my arm swinging up? Does it lag behind? It could be, these ones could be a breakdown pose too. I know like I'm not happy with the arm swing, so um, I rather have like a bigger arm swing and then kind of like uh, overshoot with the arms and then like a secondary motion down, like a lagging of the arms down. Okay, so this will be the basis of it. So now I'm going to just gonna bring in our uh, bony character. Um, so ultimate bony. So always bring your characters as a reference. Um, by the way, these can be fixed. I'll show you guys how to fix this later on. So I'm gonna put on my anti-aliasing on so it looks nice. I'll turn off the color management. And then in the renderer viewport, it should be 1.0. So that looks like. Actually, I'll try to fix the mesh here. If you go under the mesh group, should be the right arm, and you go to display. What was it called? You go to modeling, I think. Mesh. How did I fix that? Mesh tool. Display mesh. Reverse. So it reverses the because it's like inside out, I think. So same thing with the leg. Left leg will go mesh display, reverse. Now it's all nice and proper. So first things first, I'm gonna create a camera. I'm just gonna save my scene first. And save it on the desktop. So we'll name it Bony Assignment 02, blocking. have to save it on. I'll save it. Sometimes if you can't save it in ASCII, you can save it in binary. Okay, it doesn't matter. The difference between binary and ASCII is binary, it's all, if you open the file, as in from Notepad, it's all gibberish, it's all like binary coding. While ASCII, it's more friendly to, you can kind of look at the coding of the file if there's certain things that's crashing your Maya file. So this one, I'll save it as a binary bony 02 blocking 01. Okay, so now we have this. I'm just gonna turn on my NMBot. You don't have to use this. That's fine. So first we're gonna create a camera. So we'll switch to camera. Camera, I can put it at 50 focal length. 50 focal length. And we'll put it at 1.78 and film aspect ratio. That's your HD format. So like something like that. Best is to have it 3/4 view. I'll give it the space up top so we can jump into that. By the way, I won't do the whole thing, like all the poses. It's gonna take too long. But I'll give you some 2 to 5 poses maybe, so you have an idea how the workflow I do. Okay. So once I'm happy with the camera, I'll lock it. So I always have 2 panes side by side. One is perspective. So this is where I work. This one I can hide the controls. While here this is my workspace. So I can select this. So here I have these are my keys that I'm going to be keying, right? By the way, make sure you check your rig, give it a test drive, fool around with it, see what, get familiarized with your rig. I think this one is in FK, so perfect. We want to be in FK on the arms and IK on the legs. Okay, so we'll start with our new, initial pose. Actually, before starting, I always like to select all my controls, minus the global control, and create like a display layer. So this is going to be my key all. Okay. So anybody who has an mbot too, that's you can either use it here without the mbot. So if I want to select all the keys, or let's say I just want the hands, like let's say like that, I can create a layer with just hand controls. So like that. If I just want to select the hands, I can just say select all objects and it selects those hands. Same thing with key all. If I select all objects, it's key, all the key of, these are all the objects I want to key. But for an embot, I can select, put this as key all, and this does this exact same thing, but with a click of a button, it selects everything. So now I can say I want to key everything. So I keyed everything there. So now we can start posing him. So we would just want to have him a relaxed pose. Uh, so if you have the rotation too, sometimes there's a discrete rotation. It kind of like clicks. You can turn it off. So if I go into my shortcut, discrete rotate, I'll uncheck that. So now it's more, you can go really fine with that. I just want to have a general pose for something relaxed, nothing too fancy, something relaxed. So just gonna mirror that to the other side. So if you don't have an embot, then you'll have to pose it, but after you pose it, then it's all done. I'll lower the COG2 a bit so my legs are relaxed. Maybe I can open up the foot a bit. Okay, so here. So some of the controls, let's say for this, there's a space to it. So you can follow the main, which is this one, or this you can have it follow the foot, let's say, or you can have it follow the hips and or the hips. So these two, I think I'll blow away the key, the delete selected, and I have it follow the foot. So now the orientation of the knees are following my foot. I don't have to worry about the direction of the knee. So in general, the knee will be always following where the direction of the toes going to be. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. For here, maybe I'll turn the torso a bit too. So the torso for this character, there's two controls, two set of controls. There's this one where you can, it's like an IK system that you can kind of do a stretch to it, or you can use these guys too as a control. Actually, I prefer to do it to hide this guy and just use an FK for the torso. So this one, I'm just gonna create, I'm going to delete all the keys and remove it from the selection. So now it won't key all and everything. And I'm gonna hide this this controller. I'm gonna do a display, like a display layer says hidden, and click save. And I'm gonna press this B, the visibility, and hide it. So now I have one less control that I key and I don't have to worry about. Same thing here in my And then but I'm gonna remove that selection so I don't key it. So let's save. So if we look at our our reference, so what I'm gonna do maybe this one right away. Okay, the step across. I won't worry about um, these keys yet. So I'm going for the extremes right now, right? So select all, and I always key everything because these are my main keys, like main poses. So I'm just gonna go to frame number 2, key everything, and then I'm gonna start posing this one. Like I'm selecting in world, and then it goes down. So something like that. So that's my pose. And you can also going to my reference. Um, um, so in the reference here, the you can have a look at what the arm is doing, what my body is. Maybe the torso is gonna lag a bit behind and start to catch up. Here for sure when it's just before, maybe here when I do my breakdown, this body is going to lag. So just you can take notes of that. So when I plan, my arms are pretty neutral, so I can just have it maybe want to lag it behind a bit. And then that'll be my first pose. So same thing with the arm. I'm gonna lag it behind. So now I have two poses. And then I'm going to do another pose where he's kind of like neutral on the next pose here on frame 3. So I'm going to key that again. Or I can just copy the keys from my first pose. It's very similar, so I'm just going to copy that key. So now I have this key taking over, and then the third key, I'm just going to move everything across. You have to move the COG and the feet because they are in IK. So I want to move it in world. So it's a good idea to move something in the world. I can move it across like no problem. If you are in object, so it's going to take the object pivot, right? So if I go do that, see how the legs are kind of going, it's going across the X. So that's not a good idea. So this will be best with the world, so I can move it across. So I'm just gonna eyeball it as much as possible. That's close enough. So if I want to be complete perfect with this foot, then I can just copy this foot uh, to frame 3. So now it's not sliding. Okay, so now I have these 3 keys. Now I'm gonna break down the next keys into smaller in like not in between, but it's like a breakdown pose. So I go back to my reference. So I want the uh, maybe this key to lift the foot. So what I usually do is I select all my keys and then I just move one so I have like an in between. It gives me an in between, right? So that will be kind of like my starting point. It all depends. So for example, maybe this is not a good starting point. Maybe I should just start with this pose. So I'll just copy the initial pose. I think that will be better. Um, so here, and then I'll just move because it's not much movement. I'm shifting my weight, and my foot is coming up. My toes are dragging behind. So also important too is to animate, move around your viewport. So here maybe my COG kind of goes up ever slightly. Maybe I move a bit forward. These will kind of move forward a bit. So all these, maybe I go back a bit. So make sure all your poses are always in balance. It's very rare that you have a pose that is not balanced. Only when you have like really fast movements that you have poses that are not balanced. I've noticed seen sports pictures where they're like on their tiptoes and they're leaning forward. That's not balanced, but it's captured in a picture, like a high-speed picture where they're going forward in the momentum. So I have this, and then he goes over and then stop. So maybe in between here and frame 2 and 3, I want another pose where here I pick up my foot is the highest. So while I'm checking too is my COG, center of gravity, it's still pretty much under my foot. Maybe screen light, slightly screen left to the of screen left. So I'm going to select everything and move this key, give it in between here, and this will be my basis for my next pose. So I'm going to key this. My feet will still be planted for my left foot or screen right foot, right? But it's kind of sliding there. So I want to copy this this foot to frame 3. So I'm just going to copy that and key. So now it's um, it's planted there. But this key, if I remember, I'm still up, so, and my foot is kind of higher. I'm still kind of going over, and then I plant it. So here, maybe my torso will be more uh, to the screen right. Maybe my torso is kind of lagging behind too. So all these keys, make sure when I'm posing, I take into account what's happening. For example, like the arm here, when I shift my weight, my arm is going to kind of lag behind. So right now it's just following the torso, but instead I'm going to kind of have it lag closer to the body. So now it's kind of a bit lagging behind. So in between, it's going to uh, to show that if I ever need a breakdown, that will help too. So now my arm is kind of lagging there. Uh, so now on this, maybe this one, I'll have the arm lag to like kind of lag behind. And I know in the reference, it's my arm doesn't lag a lot, but those are little things that you can add in your animation to give it a bit more dynamic and uh, aesthetic to the animation. Anything that is lagging, like overlaps and secondary motion, it's always adds a lot to the animation. So now I have this this key, and then I plant, and then next I'll have another key where I lift this foot, right? So I can do that. I can select all my keys or select some keys here. And then I move my key, the last key here. And then I have a starting point for this one. So I key everything. Make sure my foot is planted and just copy this key. So my foot is planted. And let me check my reference. It's this key that I'm going for. Um, so this is after I shift my weight, I pushed off. I give myself a push, and then I'm right here. So uh, my foot is going to be up. Let's rotate the toes down. And move it up a bit. I'm going to be starting to, my weight is going to be more uh, on the screen left side. So I can maybe do a bit more. So he has the weight more on this side. So when I put my foot down, my I shift my weight to the screen right side. So there I have a bit of my blocking, like the main blocking poses done. Okay. And I'll stop right there. Basically, if I continue, is just I'd I work in sections. So I'd break it into two parts: the side step and then the jump. So if we look at if we look at the other scene here, um, so I stop here at frame 11. That's my first section, and then the second section is the um, jump part. Okay, so within within the blocking itself, I would start with that, and then for your exercise, posing exercise, what I'm looking is for are these poses. Okay, um, I'm looking for these poses, how strong they are. Make sure uh, your silhouette are strong. Make sure they're clear. Okay, and yeah, so that's it. I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, just give me a ring in Mayo if you have, or on Slack if you want. Okay. Have a good, happy animating.